things made me interested in starting Snapdragon. I really started getting into working more with the neurodivergent population. And as someone who's neurodivergent myself, really started to understand more of how my experiences also kind of translated to some of the experiences that other neurodivergent individuals were having as well. And I've always had a big love for food, and everything food. And as a high school and college athlete, I myself have always kind of struggled with, appropriate relationships with food at various times in my life, and started recognizing that that was also an experience that some of my other neurodivergent counterparts were also having. And so looking more into that, realizing that there's not a lot of support or resources that focus primarily on that for the population. I wanted to make sure that people had a place to have resources and support for some of the things they might have been experiencing. So when I talk with people about the differences between something like an eating disorder and challenging eating behaviors as it relates to ADHD, autism, different neurodivergencies, it's different. So if I have patients come to me and say, who are neurodivergent and say, hey, I went to eating disorder treatment and all of these things and it didn't work, I'm not surprised, right? The function is very different. The approach is different, right? So there is a difference in just based off of the symptomatology and some of the other things that are related to being neurodivergent that contributes to some challenging eating behaviors, right? So whether it be impulsive eating, emotional eating, whether it be just reaching our cognitive overload and just being so burnt out by the end of the day that decision making is hard, and so fast food is the best and quickest and simplest option, right? So helping people kind of understand some of those things and how to kind of just make their lives hopefully a little easier. The process of starting a company, it's been challenging. Yeah, it's been challenging. It's just a lot of different moving parts. A lot of late nights, working on the weekends, those type of things, but definitely worth it. But definitely challenging. A lot of research, a lot of digging into different things, ensuring that I am developing something that I'm proud of and that is for people that can actually help and support how I envision, right? That really was the whole point of starting it. So wanting to bring people the resources and support. Some of the biggest challenges being just figuring out how to work within my capacity while also trying to push through some of that too, right? So using some of the strategies I am, teaching to other people to be able to get the things done that I need to get done. So what's challenging is after a long day of work and coming home and trying to also make sure I'm eating appropriately and make sure that I'm getting some kind of exercise while also then trying to do things to develop the business when by the end of my work days, I'm usually at my capacity already. So doing things to kind of empty my teacup a bit, give myself a little more cognitive space to be able to dive into other things. But some days are harder than others. So I think that's probably been one of the most challenging things, being able to actually just do the things when I'm pretty low on energy or cognitive capacity. So We were looking for a name that would really speak to or encapsulate nature and wellness and growth. And since it's a flower and it kind of, nature and growth and all of these things, I thought that it was a great name. And also, snapdragons, the flower, can flourish and survive in very challenging environments and very difficult and harsh environments. And so I thought that that was perfect in really helping people how they can also survive in really challenging and harsh environments and still grow. I love making sourdough. I learned how to make sourdough from my mom. And so really enjoy kind of the process of making bread. And there's a couple of flavors I haven't tried out yet. And shaping my loaves in different ways. And so really excited to explore kind of different flavor combinations to fold in and incorporate into some of my sourdough loaves. And also in molding them different ways, so like the shape of pumpkins and those type of things I think would be really cool.